Okay, outside hay nets. Winter time means, at least right now, and it looks like while I'm gone, it's gonna be muddy, wet and muddy. Bad for their feet. I wanna try and avoid saving hay. I wanna save hay, not avoid saving hay. I wanna save hay for money, and I also want to save their feet as much as I can with the muck and mud and not having too much hay get wasted into the mud. So, for the most part, if the ground is gross, we're gonna put hay in nets outside. I like to, well, I'll get into the number later, you can read that. This is how to fill them though, without too much frustration. I tried to do this without the tub and it's, if you have patience issues, it ain't gonna work out well. So, these tubs are only for hay or water, these blue tubs. So they live in the hay stall. I'm out here because there's no light in there right now. You can fill tubs out here if you'd like. Anyway, you want to take the hay net, open it up, you have to undo the knot and stretch it out, and you're going to spread it over the tub as though it is a garbage bag going into a garbage can, right? Like that. Get it so it's secure in there. Okay, now, the hay part. I like using nets because it does save money and it saves hay. However, I need to avoid periodontal gum disease on the animals. I need to avoid ulcers. I need to avoid true anxiety around food and not getting enough food. And it's also winter time, and horses stay warm by eating hay. That's how they keep warm on the inside. It's not really their blankets, it's more the hay. So, therefore, I do not ever want to put a glob of hay into a net and just leave it there. So this isn't a good example because it's already broken apart. I'm going to grab the one down here that is not to show you what I mean by fluffing hay. I keep saying fluffing hay in all the notes. Okay, so a flake, this is a flake, believe it or not, it's a big one, is basically long hay that's 4 or 5 feet tall that's been folded in half. So it's folded. There is a cut side. I don't know if that's visible, but there is a cut side where you see all the cuts, and they're usually very even. And there's a folded side. It's usually kind of bent. I call this, like, if you imagine this to be a book, the folded side is the binding of the book, which holds it together, and the pages are all the cut side, and they're kind of loose. They're folded, though. What I do when I start doing the bag is I take the folded side, the binding of the book. It comes off pretty easy, and I just pull it into the net like that. So that's now out of the way. Now I can take the cut side, and actually this one is just sort of falling apart, but normally you could pull this fold out, that's the center of the fold, and you want to just unfold it. The reason for this is the horses need to be able to pull the hay through the bag. They have to be able to pull it through the nets. And it's hard if it's all folded. It's very hard. It becomes hard for them. Even this becomes hard for them to pull through a net. So I just like to make sure that it's unfolded. And full means that when you do that, you press it down a little bit. Full usually ends up to be a flake to a flake and a half to even 2 flakes sometimes. It needs to last them some hours. But it should kind of come over the top a little bit when it's fluffed. We're in the aisle, it's gross. When you're in there, I do ask that you pick up the scraps around the ground because it's still good hay and it's already fluffed. Anyway, now you want to close it. Okay. You want to close it up, so you're going to find your handles and pull those up. There. Then push all that down. Your clip. You want to pull your clip straight up. This kind of needs to be even. You'll figure it out later when you go to tie them, that if this is like this, you'll have a really hard time. So you want to pull your clip up and make this taut and even. And then, this is important. This knot down here, this opening, cannot be bigger any way a donkey foot could fit through it. Donkeys' feet are smaller than horses. If you cover it for donkeys, you will be A-okay for everybody. So with it pulled even, you want to tie a knot like this. I aim for really the top, actually. You need a tiny bit of space to put the clip on. Later, when you attach it, you're gonna put the clip there after this is wrapped around. However, while we're filling the nets, I just want to be clear. this opening needs to be very small, because if it ever comes down and somebody gets their foot through there, that's when an injury can be really bad. Tendons, this is nylon, and it could slice right through tendons. So, that's it. When you hang these, I'll demonstrate that later, but when you do hang these, the main goal is that this net, wherever you hang it, is not able to flip over the top of a fence or a panel. So you want to test that. Once you've secured it, you want to see if this were even more empty, can it flip over the top? No? That's good then. You also want to use a fence post or a T-bar on the panel so that it can't slide back and forth. I don't want animals, as the bag is getting less, to be chasing their hay back and forth on a fence. That's not the idea. So it should be stationary, back and forth, left to right, and not able to flip up where they can't reach it. Okay. Rinse and repeat for the rest of them.